No, he's fine. I don't know that we can hear it. Oh, I think we're live. I bet we're live. Welcome. I don't have my little welcome music. Or my welcome thing. Let's see if we're live. Are we live, YouTubers? What do you say? Yep, it looks like we're live. How do we sound? You got the two chats up?
We're up. We're live.
We're live. We're live with Chris Clemons, all the way from Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right. Well, we'll let the feed kind of fill in as people kind of come in live, and we'll kind of chat a little bit. But today we're going to have a special disc golf answer, man. Hey, if you guys haven't checked out on YouTube and Facebook, we have our welcome video for Virtual GBO, Jeremy Resko and Doug Bjerkes. We're going to have some other things start happening as far as Virtual GBO tonight, 6 p.m. We're going to push out a video of Doug and Eric McCabe actually doing an unboxing of the Glass One Open Player Pack. Some people locally have already started receiving theirs, and they're starting to post stuff on Facebook, so some really cool stuff. I was part of the Saturday crew that went out and actually packed those boxes. Nearly 1,400 boxes packed in about a 5.5-hour time. Had a great time, had everybody in certain workstations, so we tried to practice as much social distancing as possible to stay safe. But so people are going to start receiving their player pack. So if you did sign up and you're going to receive a player pack, you should be getting yours over the next couple of days. Good stuff?
Yes.
People trickling in a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm. Sam, we didn't change times this time. We just adjusted a little bit because of the Disc Golf Valley stream that the Oakleys and AJ had going on.
Yeah, we're only about 15 minutes behind schedule, the normal schedule. Hopefully you tuned in to watch Tina, AJ, and Eric play some Disc Golf Valley. They were practicing for our official Virtual GBO Disc Golf Valley tournament that starts this evening.
Quick question for the chat, because we're probably going to be in this audio setting for a little while. We've got a few things that are dependent on this audio setting. How's the sound?
Yes.
How are we feeling?
How does the sound?
Because I mean, I think we've got a pretty solid grip now on what is right and what settings we need to leave alone. So we can do it.
Well, yesterday I had everything set up, and the stupid wire to the laptop was being stupid. And I think it was a short or something, too much electricity or something, was too much voltage.
You mean the headphone thing?
Yeah, this guy to that guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it with Jeremy, and it would just have a little whine to it.
Nice. Yeah. Hateful. What a complainer.
Yeah. I don't want to do this anymore.
Sounds pretty good. Excellent.
Sounds good?
Thank you.
Well, if then that is the case, then we shall officially start the podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Robert Remote McCall.
That's me.
And Chris, look at that beard, Clemons. Ooh-wee, look at that beard. For our audio listeners, you better tune in on YouTube real quick, or maybe follow Instagram, DD Clemonade, to check out Chris Clemons' beard, because it's looking fierce. But how are you feeling, Chris?
Man, I'm feeling good. Went on a run this morning. Got some squats in while I did some putting. The weather's been super great, so yeah, I'm feeling good.
Nice. And how are you surviving all the quarantine?
Man, it's not a whole lot different than how my off seasons are, to be honest. So you just kind of hang out around the house and, watch movies, play games, get your practice in, work out. So, it's not too different. It's just extended.
Now, what is the course? Are the courses open at all in Arkansas or not? Or
Yeah. Everything's pretty normal as far as the parks go. I have noticed that they've closed off the playground areas. They'll close us off with caution tape and stuff. But the courses are open. I've been to J Beast, which is JB Hunt, where the Dynamic Disc Store is in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And I've been there to that course maybe 5 times in the last month, and it has been packed every time.
Really?
Dang.
Every time. There's people on every hole, but the groups are very small. But yeah, people are getting out.
Lots of new people playing disc golf for sure.
Yes.
All right, let's get back to where we can see us. Nope. Here we go. Gents, hang tight. Why don't you ask him some questions, Robert, while I set this up again?
So, Chris, there's a person in chat here asking, talk about normal soreness versus non-normal soreness after a day of throwing. If you go and throw, what's your sign that I probably shouldn't throw the next day? Or are you to the point now where you're pretty well seasoned to you could just throw every day?
Yeah. So like when you have the off season, and when I start practicing a lot and start gearing up for the season, when we start in like February or March, you definitely get more sore. And in August, I'm in mid-season form. I've been throwing every day. It's really hard to get sore, but I think that you kind of learn, if you practice a lot, you kind of learn what feels right and what doesn't feel right. When I practice my backhand a lot, my left butt cheek will get sore because I'm planting on it and using it, and so I know that that's right. I'm doing things right. But yeah, if your shoulder gets sore or something, you might take a day off from throwing forehands.
Yeah, I threw a little bit on Saturday, and right through here, my upper right pec into my shoulder. I felt that a lot. I've done something to my shoulder, and this I'm not sure if this is connected to it or not, but yeah, the next day I was very sore. I'm still a little bit sore today because I'm old and I haven't thrown in a while.
You can definitely acquire little nicks and knacks throughout the season, and especially when you're touring. And so I've used Seth Muncie with Disc Golf Strong, and you kind of figure out what works for you. And so I definitely, with as many forehands as I throw, I remember last year, 2 days before Worlds started, I played Lake Eureka with just backhands because I wanted to rest my forehand. And so that was fun, but it was really hard.
Oh, yeah.
But I just knew I needed to rest my forehand because it was hurting. So
when you play Lake Eureka, do you go backhand off the first tee or forehand?
I think I've been going backhand because it's I'm not going to go out of bounds if I throw a backhand.
Right.
A forehand, if I accidentally slip or I just don't commit to it, it could hyzer out and not be good.
Or if you hammer it, it could hold too straight and go long. I've seen that happen a few times.
Right. And with the backhand, it's kind of I can throw something like an enforcer really hard and flat and have it fade out down the hill.
Excellent.
I dig it.
All right, let's get back to, well, I guess that's pretty much the show right there. Just start with the questions. I mean, that's what we do, right? Disc Golf Answer Man?
I mean, we should get into some questions at least.
All right, guys. As usual, make sure you go to, as always, go to discgolfanswerman.com. I'm going to back it up.
Why don't you roll that back real quick?
Down. As always, make sure you go to discgolfanswerman.com and submit your disc golf questions. We will get them on the air.
Unless they're ridiculous, in which case we won't.
Yes, we'll throw them in the trash.
The virtual trash.
The virtual trash, right. All right, this first question comes from Magnus. From other sports that have multiple colors of the same plastic, they will have different properties. Example, black plastic is a bit more bendable and beats in faster. Yellow and green is a bit stiffer and more slick. White is middle ground with a bit more grip, but not as much as the black plastic. I assume DD have something similar, but what is the difference for your colors? Probably most noticeable on base plastic and putters. So I don't know. I don't think we need to run through every color we have and its properties, but I do know that sometimes there are certain people that seek out certain colors, and is that always the case for every mold? In other words, the blues are always like this, the reds are always like this?
I don't think so. I've seen there were certain runs at certain times that were wow, this is kind of a freak run, and it just happened to be that color plastic was running at the time. I don't think necessarily that the color itself changes the properties that much, but sometimes you can look for a certain color because that run molded up a certain way. Like the one that I can think of off the top of my head was before the Enforcer was out, before the Raider was out, there were just blue Lucid Trespasses, and they were domey and stiff, and they were incredible. And those were the ones that you wanted to look for if you wanted to get something a little bit more stable. Since then, you see people look for matte white discs. That's more for the feel, I think, rather than the flight. But most of the time, the only time I see difference in color is in what was run at a certain time. You can look for how the plastic happened to cool with that color in it, as opposed to like black is always more stable or more gummy.
Right.
Blue is always straighter. I don't see that quite as much. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I would agree with you. So I throw like biodefenders, and I have loved like the purple ones.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because like that specific run was like really domey, really overstable. And then like the yellow ones were a little less domey. And so they were a little less stable and they would go really far. Yeah, I remember trying out some VIP harps like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And I had like a yellow one, a white one, and a purple one. And I tried them all, and the purple one was the most stable. So that's what I've thrown for years, just because that's what I liked at the time. But yeah, I think it just goes by preference. I like milky white discs and how they look and how they feel. So
for sure. And if I saw somebody in chat mention mango enforcers. So one of the reasons that I think those are sought after by Eric and AJ and those in the know, right, is that those are early run enforcers. So they were first run or really early run, and that's kind of the only time that mango has been a color that we've run pretty consistently. And so you'll see the occasional mango disc here and there, but in enforcers, that kind of signifies an older run that happened to be very overstable that they really like. So I don't think it's specific color to color to color.
Right. And like I have a triple X that's mango. And so, and I like ones. And so it's really good. And like we throw the greeny enforcers, but there's many different colors of those. But it was like from about the same time as the mango enforcers.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, Robert likes the matte white discs. I prefer the Bobby Brown discs. No.
Is that why you lose so many discs?
Yes.
Ha!
Yeah.
Get got.
Next one's from Zach. He says, "Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew, I have been filming my throws, and from what I see, the biggest flaw I am doing is between my reach back and release. My arm goes up and tilts down towards the ground before I throw. When I throw, I think I am throwing flat, but am actually not. Any tips on keeping it flat throughout the throw?" Chris, what do you think?
I have and still do kind of the same thing. So when I'm like reaching back, I like tilt like this and kind of tilt the disc down.
Okay.
And it's a habit that I've tried to get away from and I have to, work on. But I remember when I first kind of learned to play, one of my friends, and he actually told me this like 2 days ago. He was like, "We're going to have to work on your form and imagine that you're sliding the disc across a bookshelf. Like you're like just sliding it across there, like giving you some kind of reference to think about." But a lot of people do that, and the flatter you can keep it, the better release you're going to have.
Good stuff. Just in case, a reminder, guys, that we are at home doing this remotely. So if you happen to hear dogs barking, that's going to be either Walter or Sebastian. But right now, if you hear some gnawing, it is not Robert and I chewing on our chicken bones. It is Sebastian chewing on a bone. So, and he can get pretty
chewing on your toe.
Yeah, he can be pretty loud when he chews. So, all right. Next question comes from Anthony. Anthony. Oh, no, this is another Anthony.
Different Anthony.
Different one. I have two questions for you, and both are on different topics. So currently, when we watch tournament coverage videos, they are separated by men's and women's cards. What are your thoughts about having co-ed cards, lead cards, chase cards, etc.? I think these would make good videos for viewers to watch, especially when I feel like the men's coverage gets a lot more views than women's. So the Disc Golf Pro Tour tried something like that. Not the cards weren't co-ed, but the view was sort of quote-unquote co-ed in that they started out watching the women's.
Started out watching the men's.
Oh, the men's. That's right, the men's, and then mixed in the middle after 9 holes.
Yep.
The women, so you would be watching the men play the back half of back 9, mixed in with the women front 9, and then the coverage would end with the women playing the back 9. That seemed to go over well, so there's something like that. Now, as far as mixing cards, PDJ has specific rules about that, correct? About sanctioned events and mixing cards. You can't have like 2 groups of men go and then 2 groups of women go and then another group of men go. And I'm assuming that's because of trying to have fair play for the groups as much as possible as far as going off at the same time.
Sure, but this doesn't sound as much about the order of cards as it is like I think he's talking about having 2 MPO players and 2 FPO players on the same card.
Oh, wow.
Right. Like to increase views on the FPO for for post-produced coverage.
Yeah.
And I would say it's kind of the same thing that you were talking about. I think in theory, the idea is a good one, and the intent behind it is a good one, in that you want to get more views for more players.
Right.
That's really cool. The problem is, kind of like you said, you want to compete with the players that you're playing in the same field with, and I think the ladies would say the same thing.
Right.
If they're if there's a 4-person card, and let's just say it's a four-way tie at the lead for the lead at the top, and 2 of them are on one card and 2 are on another, that's not a great setup for them. I think they would all want to play on the same card so they could keep track of who's doing what. And
plus
that.
have as much of the same condition as possible. I mean, obviously, we all know we step up to the tee, and it's a different wind that the person that just threw.
Right.
But you're trying to create the best scenario possible, which would be have everybody on the same card and play at the same time.
Yep.
All right, second question. I've heard that when practicing putting, it is always good to use the same type of discs. For example, if you go to practice, it's better for your game to use a stack of all Wardens compared to using a stack that is mixed with Wardens and Judges. Do you guys agree with this advice, or is it more important to focus on your form and not worry how the disc will fly? What do you think, Chris Suich? Do you practice with the exact same mold when you practice putting?
Yeah, I practice with all Judges, and I think that you want to replicate what you're actually going to be playing with. Like if you occasionally putt with the harp when it gets windy, then you can use that too. But if you're switching up from Warden to Wizard and Focus and putting just whatever in your basket, I don't think you're gonna develop that feel and know exactly how your putters are going to fly. So yeah, if you're serious about practicing putting, I think you should use the same disc.
What are your thoughts on this? I don't know if it's a theory or a perspective that I hear from certain people. Anything from 25 to 20 feet in to the basket, you can pretty much learn to putt pretty decent with any mold, any putter. Pretty much. It's after that is when you need to get a little more particular about which mold you like. Do you like to be a little more stable, more understable, or overstable? Is that something that you would agree with, Chris?
Yeah, I think most putters, probably 95% of putters fly similar inside of 20 feet. There's not going to be too much difference, maybe if there's tons of wind. But once you get out further, 35, 40 feet, you're going to start seeing some different flights. You're going to see deputies being more glidey. You're going to see, harps kind of like fading hard or dropping out of the air. And so, yeah, I think really putting is just all about feel. Whatever feels good in your hand and comes out clean.
Nice. All right, next one comes from, no, that's the same one. I did not delete it. I thought I did. Hang tight. There we go. Anthony, how many times did you submit your question?
Many, many times.
Here we go. Now, Andy.
Way different.
Andy. Thank you all for always keeping it real. I was wondering if you can help me understand what seems to be a contradiction in common advice. Here we go.
Nice.
I always hear Danny and others talk about slowing down and being smooth, and that will help improve distance and overall form. But I also hear people describe players who can throw far as having high arm speed. Can you please help me understand how both of these things may be true? That going slow yet having high arm speed are both things I should somehow do simultaneously. Thanks for your answers and be safe.
All right, I got you. At least I'll start us off, and then I want to hear what Chris has to say because he throws farther than me, like by a lot. And
he's a lot cooler. So
I mean, these are the facts. Look at his hair and look at his beard. I mean, he's
untrue.
He's killing it.
Untrue.
So when Danny and others say slow is smooth, smooth is far, I think there is something to that in that you're really just trying to get back to the basics of the throw. You don't want to expend all of your energy early in the throw so that you can expend it later in the throw. Right? So if you start by running absolute full speed, there's no potential energy for you to go to. Like, you've already used all of the energy. You're already at the peak of your energy. So you can, I mean, the physics of this aren't exact, but you're not going to be able to throw that much faster than kind of the pace you're running up to the box with. It'll come out faster, but you are limiting the amount of speed that you can generate by doing too much on the front end. So when you slow down and take things down to basics and be smooth with it, I think the thing that's underestimated in the disc golf throw as far as distance goes is the acceleration. So you want to start slow, be methodical when you start off, and then when you get to the end of the throw, you are exploding into the end of the throw. So you're starting your steps slow, you're starting your arms slow, but then it's like a whip. It starts slow and then accelerates really quickly to where when it snaps at the end, that's the greatest potential energy that you have to put into the disc. That's where you put it in. That's when it makes the biggest difference to have high arm speed. So when people talk about high arm speed, they're not talking about how fast can someone take their arm back and put it forward. It's how fast can they accelerate from the back of their reach back to the front of the throw. That's what I think it is, and that's why I think you see guys who can throw so far. It's not because of a fast run-up. It's because they accelerate really well. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up very, very well. And I think that the thing is when you see pros, they throw really smooth and it looks effortless. It's because they have fine-tuned their form and they've practiced so much to be able to make it look that way. And if your form isn't good, you're going to see a lot of hitches. You're going to see a lot of variance, and so I think whenever you have really, really good form, yes, the harder you throw, the further you will throw. I remember talking to Dave Felberg years ago, and I was like, how do I throw farther, Dave? And he was like, just throw harder. And so when you actually get good form, that is another way. But yeah, what Robert said, the run up and stuff. I mean, you look at Tristan Tanner, he has like no run up. It's super duper slow. And then he just accelerates. And that's a lot of top athletes in a lot of different games is that acceleration. And that's what we're trying to get to is like fine tuning that to where we can get everything, our whole body into the disc.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here's a fun game we'll play. Kind of reminds me of a video game when you create your player.
Nice.
Ready? Here we go. This is from Creighton, by the way. Thank you, Creighton.
We need to do this like we're in the selected character screen.
All right. You have the chance to create the best trilogy player ever.
Nice.
To create this imaginary titan of disc golf, you get to copy any current trilogy player's forehand, backhand, putting, and mental game toughness. But you can only use a real player to copy once.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
That's tough. I'll go first.
Okay, go
for it.
Are you ready, Robert?
No. You go for it.
So any trilogy player ever?
It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say a timeline. I guess it doesn't say anything about. I don't know. Should we make it more?
No.
Oh,
it says
does it say
to copy any current trilogy members forehand? Yeah.
Oh, it does.
You're
say
trying
current.
to make the
current.
best one ever, but you can only choose from current players.
Right.
Okay. Man, that's tough, dude. That's really tough. I mean, I think that
I would definitely I would throw another category in there, and I would say I would take Chris Clemons' swagger.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
You can use it. You can use that one
Swagger.
twice.
Okay,
you can use swagger, and then you can also pick Chris for another thing. If you
I like the swagger. I think for mental toughness, I would pick myself. That was one of them, right? Mental toughness.
Yeah.
And so then I would probably go Melton's backhand, Eric Oakley's forehand, and Bjerkes' putt.
Oh, okay.
Or shoes putt. Yeah, so there's mine.
I like that. I think that's super good. All right, so I will go. I'm going to cheat.
How are you going to cheat?
I'm going to take Tristan Tanner's backhand, right hand backhand.
I forgot about Latitude players. Dang it.
I'm going to take Chris.
And then Nico, God.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to so I'm going to take Tristan Tanner's right hand backhand. I'm going to take Chris's left hand backhand. Every shot is a backhand for me. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. I can only throw backhands. I'll take Tristan's backhand and Emerson's forehand. Because I don't think Emerson doesn't throw the disc as far as Tristan on a forehand, but it's just really accurate. I mean, and he's super smooth, lots of control. I'll take Chris's mental toughness as well. That was the first one that I came up with for Chris. Oh man, for the putt, it's like, man, between Zach, Eric, and AJ, like when the three of them are on, it just seems like they never miss. But if they're having a little bit of an off day,
Right.
that's who I'm trying to decide. Like who has the best off days? Who you know what I mean? I'll take.
Well, like there's even Tatar or Albert Tam.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Nico.
that's a
Nico's
really good
putting.
one.
Tatar's got
Nico was the best
backhand.
putter in the world at one point.
Nico
He was the best player in the world at
Okay,
one point.
I'll say this about Nico because he said it about himself, and I agree with it. Nico is the best practice putter on the face of the earth. Like
100% agree.
before a round, Nico could throw every disc in his bag from any distance, and he will make it. Like I've watched him.
seen it.
Yes, putters, mids, fairway drivers, doesn't matter.
50 feet, dude.
Easy.
50 feet, just bang.
5 in a row,
bang,
5 in a
bang.
row, 5 in a row. Doesn't matter. I think that his mentality, like I think he just gets in his head a little bit on the disc golf course. That's what keeps him from doing it on the course. But off the course, like if I can take practice basket Nico, I'm taking him. He's the best putter I've seen lifetime. He does not miss before a round. Period.
No, he doesn't.
He's good.
So it was like hole 3 or 4 at the Las Vegas Challenge, and I was playing with Nico, and he took like forever on like a 15 or 20 foot putt, classic Nico.
Sure.
And he made the putt. And so after I was like, hey, Nico, like, it just seems like you're like talking yourself into releasing your putter. Like, cause he like fakes like he's going to do it a couple times. And he started laughing. He's like, dude, I am.
Yes, I like it. So, but let's say this: if I can't take practice basket, Nico, if I'm talking about on the course performance, I am taking. Can I use a player from like they have to be current trilogy, but I can pick when.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking Eric McCabe as my putter. From his touring time, because like he's still a fantastic putter. Don't get me wrong, but when he was touring, it was like count it,
He'd drill it.
count
Automatic.
it. Yeah, unbelievable. Like go back and watch the
That
20
spin putt. Dude.
Yes,
Just bang, bang, bang.
go back and watch the 2010 Final 9, the 2010 World's Final 9. He misses one and then literally makes everything else for the rest of the time. All putts made it.
Yeah.
Sick.
So I would take Chris Clemons' swagger. I would take
Nice.
Nico's hair.
Nice. That's an underrated pick, but a great pick.
Eric Oakley's tight pants.
Nice, good.
Oh, Nico, which hair from Nico?
Dude, it's got to be the fro. The fro.
The fro.
100% fro.
USDGC fro.
Nice.
Yeah.
Since we're talking eras, different eras for you
Yeah.
and Eric McCabe.
What was that? Was that 09?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That was
And
when
then
he
I
won
would take
USDGC.
Emerson Keith's RV and Eric McCabe's boat.
You're killing it.
McCabe's got a boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes
He
fishing
fishes
all
a
the
lot.
time.
What?
He made a fish video. He used the PDGA
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
bag tag, whatever.
Tag, yeah.
Yeah. Honorable mention on the forehand, Silver Lot. Bomber forehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, he just kind of walks up there and then zzz.
What about a celebration? Albert Tam, probably.
Dude,
Celebration, yeah.
I'll go with either Albert or AJ.
Or AJ has good connections.
Yeah,
practice.
AJ's rundown kills me. Like I cannot not laugh when AJ hits a putt and you can like he's freaking hyped. I'm like, dude, let's go.
I would also want Zach Milton's nonchalantness.
Nonchalance.
Yes, nonchalance.
Yeah.
Eh.
All right, let's move on to Alex. He says, I'm a forehand driver, and I forehand right at about 400 feet consistently with a Lucid, a Sheriff, and a Biofusion Defender. They both seem to get pretty full flights, but my 5-speed mid-ranges are getting about 350. Is this normal? Or am I missing something in my drive that keeps me from breaking the 420 to 450 barrier? I've been at this same distance since October and have only been playing since August, while the rest of my game has been improving.
So it's
his mid forehand is 350
His 5-speed mid ranges are getting about 350, and
with the forehand.
With the forehand,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that that's anything to really be upset about.
No, if I could throw mids forehand 350, I wouldn't carry anything else in my bag. I would just throw that and then be happy with it.
So if he's hitting 400 with the drivers, the Sheriff and the Defender, should he be throwing those further if he can get his Defender or his mid ranges that far?
It does seem like
mean,
a weird distance gap. Like it should be, if you can throw a mid 350, theoretically you should be able to throw your distance drivers 450 plus a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just like I would have to like see the flights of them. Like being like forehanding mids is a pretty interesting concept. Like I forehand like verdicts occasionally and stuff, but I don't use them for like a 350-foot shot. I'm using like a felon or something like that. But I mean, honestly, especially if you're not like playing on the tour, if you throw a 400, like if you can putt, you're going to compete. Yep. 400 is really all you need. You don't need much more than that. I know that everybody wants to like throw as far as they can, but I feel like there's like a distance limit for a forehand. Backhands, like you can throw them really, really far just because of the spin and stuff, but forehands are just kind of different because there's so much torque that you have to throw over stable, it seems like.
Yep, for sure. Unless you're just so smooth with it that you can kind of get it to flip up. But that's elite forehand.
That's hard
stuff.
That's hard to do.
All right, next one comes from Sidewinder. You don't only throw discs, you also film people throwing discs. So I was thinking if you have any tips on equipment and setup for filming, for example, a form check. I don't get a wide and good enough shot from my phone, I feel like. Odd question, but I have a good one. Oh, odd question, but have a good one. Greetings from Sweden, Team Judge.
Get out of here.
I like this guy.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, if I'm not sure, obviously I don't know what phone you have, but just about any phone, if you can use any newer phone, should have a wide enough shot. Some of these newer phones have 2 and 3 cameras on them, lenses on them, so you should be able to get a wide shot. But if you can't get it wide enough, then you're just going to have to like step back and move the phone further away from you to film it. I mean, there's so many different cameras out there that just about any camera that you've purchased maybe within the last 4 years, even 5 years, should be plenty good enough for you to be able to film it. So I'm not sure if I can give you specifics as far as models or anything like that, but make sure you have a tripod or get a buddy to film you. But you should be able to use just about any modern phone to do that.
Yeah, make sure that...
And probably turn it sideways, maybe?
Yeah, turn it side. Yeah, there you go. Turn it sideways so you're filming it wide, horizontal
vertically.
Rather than...
or horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal rather than vertically.
Yeah, make sure you're also not trying to do it in selfie mode because that you will have difficulty getting a wide enough shot.
You don't need to be running while you're holding your phone.
Mm-hmm. It's not advisable.
No.
Maybe his run-up's just like really long, like James Conrad's. You can't get it all on the frame.
All right, next one's from Yelty, our good buddy Yelty. In fact, he gave us some advice for the Disc Golf Valley tournament early on. We were trying to seek out information and doing research. Thank you, Yelty, for doing that for us and getting us a little bit of information to get us started. What do you guys miss the most? So, DeGam guys, what are you missing the most at the moment? Is it working at the DD Store warehouse with your coworkers, or is it a fun, casual round? If we're talking non-disc golf stuff, I miss the heck out of my grandkids. I have not seen them probably in 2 months because I was traveling prior to all of this and just couldn't get away because things were happening. I was supposed to go see my brand new grandchild in May. I was supposed to fly to New York to go see Jackson. I'm not able to do that. And I tell you what, there are a couple times I get a little teary-eyed because I have not seen my grandkids and I miss them so much. Disc golf wise, nothing. I hate disc golf. No, I'm playing. I'm teasing.
Dang.
Dang, bro.
No, I'm teasing. I miss working at the
Keeping
warehouse.
it real.
I miss the. Here's what the other day I started thinking that this is our week number 7 working from home. Almost 2 months of working from home, and even as awkward it is working from home, certain aspects, it's become the new normal, and it's like. Mm-hmm. I can be very much a routine person.
Yeah.
And now I've got to almost get back to the old routine, and that's going to be like a weird thing to have to now readjust again, and it makes me a little anxious. Not like I'm not going to go crazy or I'm not going to obviously be able to do it, but there's still some anxiety there readjusting back to whatever the new normal is. But I do miss going out and throwing some discs every now and then. It is kind of a nice release that I haven't been able to do.
I've become really comfortable working from home. Like it was weird the first little bit, but man, I enjoy it. Like I miss getting to see people in the office and getting to meet face to face, but since we have Zoom and Google Meet and Skype and all that, man, it's like, it's not the same, but it's pretty close to the same, so
it's not too much different.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. And honestly, I've set up way more video call meetings with businesses that we're looking to work with and people who need to get in touch with me, and that for me helps to keep kind of the personal touch to everything. So working from home doesn't really bother me at all. I'm good with that. I think the thing that I miss the most is just the freedom to be able to do what you want. Not even a specific thing. Like I could go throw in a field. I could go play disc golf by myself if I wanted to right now. If I was just out by myself, no problem. I could do that. But like I put on a mask if I need to leave the house and go somewhere where other people are going to be. I am really careful about the things that I touch or don't touch or where I walk and stuff. Like just stop it. Dang it. Freaking Bobby touched me. Anyway, I'm ready for the freedom to be able to do what you want to. That's the thing that I miss the most, whether that's disc golf, pickleball, you name it. I want to just be able to go do what we want to. My wife would say she misses the gym. She works out at home a lot right now. But I mean, Shay was going to the gym like every day after work, get to see friends of hers there, do classes with them. So she misses that quite a bit.
I do. And that was another thing is I had a routine. Sometimes it takes me a while to get a routine, and I was feeling really good about my morning gym routine, and that's obviously not happening now. I've been really good about doing my resistant band workouts in the morning, but I do miss going to the gym and seeing the normal people that show up early in the morning at the gym. That is something that I miss as well.
Yeah. Oh, and Jerome put this in the chat, but I also miss Torchy's Tacos.
Oh, gosh. Okay, No, we can't do this weekend because of virtual GBO.
Yeah.
Torchy's like a week ago.
Oh, well, that must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice. I made homemade Torchy's Tacos, and it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It was very good.
I want to do it one more time before all this is over. All right, next one comes from Micah. Hello, and greetings from Finland. I recently thrown a lot of open field drives and enjoyed it so much the maximum length of throws risen 423 to 482.
Sweet.
Obviously, there's some translation things going on, so just bear with both of us. So now I have a hard time finding motivation to go around the courses, and the successes on the course have been lacking. What would help? Sorry for the bad English use. Sorry for the bad English use translator. Thanks for the great show. So if I'm assessing this right, he does really good in field work, but then he doesn't do so well once he's out on the course. So what advice would you have for him, Chris?
So I've dealt with this before too. Like when you feel really good when you're practicing, every shot's coming out clean, coming out strong. You're putting well on the practice basket. And then when you like actually play a league round or even just a casual round, you kind of struggle. I think that is something that just kind of takes time, and you have to maybe try to play more practice rounds and get used to doing that. Because when you're in a field and you're practicing, like if you make a mistake, you can immediately throw something else and make up for it. But when you're on the course, like every shot matters that much more. And so if you get used to practicing, then when you're trying to play like a real round, you may feel more pressure, and then that may be affecting your play.
Yeah, I think you have to have a good combination of the two for sure. If you play too many practice rounds and never throw out in the field, you're just not going to improve that quickly. You'll improve some, but you just won't learn your disc quite as quickly. So yeah, having a good combination of the two, I think, is really good. Now, I will say one of the beautiful things about field work is being able to fall in love with a flight of a disc. That's cool because you just get to do that over and over and over. So now you've watched your Maverick go from hyzer to flat to a little bit over to the right. So when you get to the course, you know, hey, I can throw that shot. That sort of thing, you get so much quicker in field work than you do on the course.
There you go. Next one is from Don. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. Quick question for you. Am I the only freak that washes off their discs after a round? Do any of you guys do that at all, or know of anybody else who takes care of their discs this way? Thank you for keeping us entertained, and stay safe, everybody. So, yeah, I've seen on social media people post videos and pictures of, I've seen it in their sink. I've seen it in a dishwasher. I've seen it in their bathroom, in the tub, in the bathroom. I've seen people washing them off with a hose outside, out back. So what do you do? Do you frequently clean your discs?
I do not.
I send mine
like
to the dry
them
cleaner.
To be dirty.
Is that bad?
Do you
send them to the dry cleaner?
They
Is
come
that
back.
expensive?
They come back slightly smaller than before.
Yeah.
Like they shrink just a little bit.
Yeah, they just become junior discs.
Like I love it in the summer when I can play and I get oils from my hands on my discs, on my putters, dirt. I like that feel. It adds to the disc. It feels more tacky to me. It feels better. And then like on days that it rains, I can tell like the next day, like my discs feel a little different because they got wet and I wiped them off and stuff. So I do not wash my discs. And I don't like when they get wet in the rain and they rub off all the mojo I've got on them. So that's how I am.
Yeah, I'll wipe them off if they get mud on there, just so it doesn't cake, because that could affect the flight or something like that. Right. But otherwise, if I'll do just an occasional like wet towel and wipe them off, but I'm not ever trying to put soap on them ever.
Oh, are you afraid of what it will do to the plastic? Or?
Yeah, well, yes,
or
but
just
then,
make them slick.
Yeah, I think we spend a lot of time, especially with your distance drivers. Maybe you could do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but do your thing. But with your putters have your hand oils on there. That's like, it helps them to get tacky. It helps them to feel just how you want them to feel. And if you put soap on there, like get ready for having like a new slick putter again. That's not what you're looking for. So I'll wipe them off, but never ever putting soap on there.
Maybe some people like that though. Maybe they like that slick, brand new feel.
Cool daddy slick breeze.
They're
yeah, I guess so.
Those people are dumb.
We need to do a commercial if we come out with a super tacky plastic. We should do a commercial kind of like the is it the Cheez-Its, where the block of cheese are they're cheesy. Remember?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we could make a tacky, so we would have it say tacky things.
Yeah. And then we check the box.
And then we check the box. Yeah, you're tacky. Yep. Get it out of here.
I'm in.
All right. All right.
We should have done that with the classic hybrid discs. Dang it!
Cool.
They feel good.
I got some of those.
I was going to ask.
Still do it.
They're good, man. It's too late.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too late. We're done.
I got some judges, and they're kind of similar to blend, but like a little stiffer. They feel really good.
Yeah. Now, Danny's in the chat, and he brings up a good point. He said when he played in Little Rock, he had to wash his disc because of poison ivy, because he's very sensitive to poison ivy. So if you're playing in a situation like that, okay, I totally understand that. That makes sense.
So while we got all the listeners on here, make sure that you're checking out glassboneopen.com. Check out Glassbone Open and Dynamic Discs on Facebook, and then, of course, the Dynamic Discs YouTube channel, which you are watching now. We have got a lot of virtual GBO activities happening. Things are kicking off tonight. They've already kicked off with a welcome video. Tonight we'll have a GBO player pack unboxing where Eric McCabe and Doug will go over all the items that players have received or will be receiving in the mail. And then tomorrow we have a pro panel with Paul Macbeth, Simon Lizotte, Nate Sexton, Kristen Tatar, and Albert Tom. And then, of course, our very own we have right here, Chris Clemons. He will be on as well. He'll be answering questions. Robert will be emceeing just as he does at other GBOs, but, of course, we'll be doing it here remotely from his house. So it'll be good times. And then we have a live rotten fish testing. Me, Eric McCabe, Doug Bjergis, and I believe Paige Sue might make an appearance, and we'll be trying some surströmming.
Okay, yeah. This is from Sweden. It's called surströmming.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically just rotten fish. Like,
that's what it is.
It's what's the it's like fermented.
Yes, fermented.
Yep.
Yeah. You nasty.
I think they get it specifically from like the Baltic Sea, like up north Sweden. And I've actually like researched it a little bit, and I've been wanting to try it. And every time Johannes Hogberg comes over to the U.S., I'm like, dude, bring some. And he's like, they won't let me on the plane because like it's so like tight in there, like it could pop.
Yeah. Yeah, so they sent us.
Can you imagine if you're on an airplane and then all fermented fish?
Oh God!
Because I've had it before. Me and Eric McCabe in 2014, when we made our trip to Sweden, they had us try it, and it smells god awful.
They say this smells the worst.
It's the worst part. And then they had us put it on crackers with some potatoes and sour cream and a little bit of dill seasoning, and then they put the fish on top, and it doesn't help, but it's there. So anyway, go ahead.
It's like salty.
Yeah, it's very salty.
Think, like most people, when they see it on YouTube, people just like open the can and eat the raw fish, and it's like that's not how you're supposed to eat it.
I'm gonna
like,
tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'm
trying
gonna
to
get
make yourself
some
throw
stuff
up.
to. I'm gonna get some the ingredients to make it. But yeah, we're gonna have that.
Where are you doing that, by the way?
At Jeremy's Airbnb. Oh, in the basement right here.
Not here is the answer. And it's the correct answer.
Yeah, no, we're going to do it. He has like an outside patio at the Airbnb. That way we'll have the air to be able to have it. But we're going to go live with that. So you're going to see our live reactions, no editing, anything.
You guys have fun. Now, Bobby and I did a food challenge yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to say what it was just yet. But you will enjoy watching.
That'll be released. Ours goes out Thursday, I believe. So Anthony and Danny are going to do one, and we're going to release all that Thursday. And then the Oakleys and AJ Risley did it. They'll post theirs on Friday. And then also we're going to have a beer fest. We're going to have a beer fest, the virtual beer fest. We're going to have 3 brewmasters on: BJ Hunt from Walnut River, JJ from Radius Brewing, and I can't remember the gentleman's names. I apologize, but they're from Beer Craft Brewing. And they're going to be on talking craft beer and some of their favorite brews they've done. And then we want you guys to join us. I think that's Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Have your favorite beers on hand, ready to join in and have a good old time talking about beer. I'll be on that one as well. And then,
sounds like fun.
Yeah, and then a few other little things going on. But the 2 big things is the GBO remix from Smashbox. They're going to do a remix of past GBO tournament coverages and kind of mash them together or remix them together. Robert McCall is going to do live commentary.
Hello.
Are you doing it with Terry, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry and Robert are going to do some live commentary on it. That'll be on Smashbox's YouTube channel.
I would have really missed getting to commentate with Terry if I didn't get to do it at GBO. That's it's one of the things I look forward to. Don't tell Terry.
Yes.
Or Johnny. Those guys are the worst.
Is Johnny on?
I'm sure. Well, he was at one point.
Okay.
No, like getting to work with them, it's like that's my quintessential GBO experience is getting to do that with them.
They're cool guys.
Yeah, and I was really going to miss it this year, so I'm glad that we're going to get to do something for you guys, just so we don't miss out on the experience entirely.
And then the last day, Saturday, is going to be a virtual block potty. We're going to all go bathroom. We're going to just go to the bathroom online. No, virtual block party fly mart. We're going to have of our touring players have time slots where they're going to go live on Dynamic Disc's Facebook page, and they're going to sell some of their stuff, some of their special stuff they would have had at GBO, or just some of the stock stuff that they have on with them, so that you guys can help support them once they get back on the road touring again. But we'll have that as well. That'll all start at about 11 a.m. Central, and that'll go through probably about 5:30. And then the other thing that's going on throughout the whole week, one more thing, hang tight, guys. Disc Golf Valley Mobile Game Virtual GBO Tournament. That actually starts tonight. We have 3 qualifying days tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can qualify on the mobile game, Disc Golf Valley. We're going to have random draw prizes. And then Friday will be the finale. We're going to do it bracket style. We're going to start with 128 players, work our way down to Final 4. And Danny, the genius video gamer, architect, streamer, is going to work with the guys. We're going to stream that live as well on the Dynamic Disc YouTube channel, so you can watch the Final 4 play out. And we're going to have prizes for the Final 4. We're going to have some bags, hat, discs, and stuff like that. So trying to bring as much of GBO experience that we can. Obviously not the same scale or scope as a regular GBO, but as much as we can with the technology we have and with the only 2 weeks we had once the idea was formed.
It's fair. So it's a good point.
All right, so I got all that out. Now let's get back to a few more questions before we get to.
I had a quick
little Bobby.
I know he's.
Yeah, sorry.
Listen to this guy. I got a quick super chat in the meantime. Derek Fretwell coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Derek. He said, "I haven't heard a super chat yet, so here you go. Now I want to know how Robert got a haircut. Keep it real. Stay safe." And the answer to how I got a haircut is I have a quarantine friend.
That was me.
It was not Bobby.
I learned how to cut hair. And he forced me to.
It was not Bobby.
He said, if you want to live here any longer, you have to learn how to cut hair.
That's right. Either learn or you're evicted. No, a friend who has also been home for the last probably about the same time as me, six or 7 weeks. And yeah, he's been on quarantine lockdown, as have I. So I hit him up for a haircut.
There you go. Whoa. And Sebastian.
Excitement.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that.
No, he's not about that.
All right. So let's do one more question, and then we're going to jump over to our disc golf hot takes. So hang on, YouTubers, and for our audio listeners, make sure you're subscribed so you know as soon as that drops. Let's see. Michael. Hello from Cape Cod. I throw a flick approach using a harp and love it, but don't have a consistent flick for longer shots. I'm looking for a mid-range with a similar feel and flight as the harp. I've used the pine, but don't get the consistency. However, this is probably the fault of the user, as I am probably rolling the wrist when putting more power into the flick. Thank you for your suggestions. What would you suggest, Chris?
You know, I don't forehand and I don't use a harp. Just kidding.
Exclusively.
Wait a minute.
So
I've seen you play.
So I use the harp for short, like touchy forehands, and then if I need a little bit more distance or a little bit more wind fighting, I go Justice. And then if I need like kind of a touchier shot, I go Verdict. So a nice overstable Verdict would be kind of a step up from a harp. And then like if you wanted to go like triple X, you know, if you want that, like I think this triple X is like 6 or 7 speed,
Right.
And it's really good for forehands. But yeah, if you're just try to keep throwing it how you throw your harp. You know, I don't know. Does a pine have a beat?
No, it's like if anything a micro bead, but it's pretty beadless.
But it's not like super overstable.
It's
like
it's a little less than a Verdict.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest a Verdict or what other overstable mids are there?
The one that I use for a longer harp would be an Anvil. That's what I throw for forehand, backhand, like really quick kind of dive approaches or little short chip shots. But if you're using your harp for straighter shots, I mean, this is ironic that Chris is on the show right now, but honestly, the Lucid X Verdict is fantastic for that. It really is.
It is.
Isn't it ironic?
Even if he wasn't on the show, I would have said that. But it's just great stability, good feel. Yeah, like a longer harp that you can throw straight. Look at that thing. Look how pretty that is, dude.
Ooh.
That's just like the one that I have in my bag,
nice.
and it's correct.
So he's holding
good.
a green burst Lucid X.
Lucid X Verdict.
Yes, with a hand eye supply stamp
With,
on there.
Look whose name. Can you read that name?
Oh, it's a McCabe.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eric and I got we got ours at the same time from the same box. They were
so much like Eric.
They were the special ones. Oh. So yeah, they're good.
Special.
Yeah, we got a $2 super chat from Sticky Ricky Squash. He says, "What happened to the Fruit Ninja video?"
Sticky Ricky.
The Fruit Ninja.
I don't know what Fruit Ninja video.
What's that?
I don't know.
Were you guys supposed to play Fruit Ninja?
Not that I know of.
The Fruit Ninja video.
And then another $2 super chat from Doc Zen said, "Live stream karaoke for GBO Digital."
Someone else recommended that, and I was trying to. I actually researched a couple of. There was an app called Smule.
Yeah, I've heard it.
And you used to be able to do, well, no, you can still do it, but now you have to pay like $5 a month to do it.
Hard pass.
I'm not going to pay $5 a month to sing into a phone when I can go pay $5 for a couple of beers and go to bourbon and do it.
Yeah, but also pay a cover charge to get into bourbon. So.
Well, if you go early enough and start drinking.
Whatever.
Anyway, so karaoke does sound fun. Someone else suggested that. I think there might be a couple of impromptu GBO meetups where I'll just go online and say, hey, let's just get on Zoom and let's talk GBO. So we'll see. Maybe karaoke might be one of the ones where see if a few people get brave.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Be after the beer tasting.
That's a perfect time for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thursday night.
Nice. All right, guys. So that's all the time we have for the Disc Golf Answer Man portion of our podcast. We sure appreciate you subscribing and downloading, or on YouTube for tuning in and watching. Thank you so much, Chris, for helping us answer the questions. Chris, real quick, remind people how they can follow your story on Instagram.
Yeah, my tag, is that what it's called on Instagram? Is DD Clemonade.
Handle.
My handle. Yeah. And then I actually just started putting out some YouTube videos. Yes. So you can go follow my channel on there. It's Clemonade. So, yeah.
Nice. So putting out some YouTube videos. Clemonade on YouTube and DD Clemonade on Instagram. So check it out. Chris is always looking for or doing things to help promote the sport. And of course, I'm sure you are jonesing to get out on the course. What, tell us how anxious are you to get out there?
I'm pretty anxious. Like
Yeah.
I was getting stir crazy back in like February before we left, and then I kind of got a taste of it for like a month, and then it was cut short. And when it happened, when I learned about it at Waco, I thought it might be like a couple weeks or something. You know, I didn't know the extent. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we're gonna play. Like I've heard like rumors and stuff, but like I don't know. So I'm jonesing. I'm trying to stay fresh and clean, and it's really awesome to be able to throw and practice this time of year rather than like December. You know, it's like perfect outside. So, but I'm jonesing to compete.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again. And guys, remember, submit your questions at discgolfanswerman.com. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes. You can even download us on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. And if you have the time and feel so inclined, please go to iTunes and rate and review our show. Of course, we would love 5 stars. We love our 5 stars, but give us some feedback on iTunes. It helps people discover our podcast when they're out searching for new
only 5 stars
disc golf content, which they're doing a lot of right now. A lot of new disc golfers are discovering. A lot of people are discovering disc golf, which is awesome.
Don't leave a review at all.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
5 stars.
All right, done with Disc Golf Answer Man. We take a little bit of a brain
Crushed
break.
them.
Crushed it. We do take a brain break, and then we'll hit up the disc golf hot
my
take.
next Coke.
Oh yes, I'm gonna go grab me a little something to drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the potty.
What's ask the chat while we're getting our stuff? Tell us real quick. What is as soon as disc golf courses are open and can be sanctioned? What's the first? What's the biggest thing you miss? I guess. I mean, yeah.
What's the first course you're going to play?
There you
I
go.
don't know.
Yeah, what's the
Just
first
hit us
course you're
with
going to play as a casual round?
In the meantime, we got some bros in the chat. Christian in the chat, for who I previously called Christian. I apologize for that. Christian. He said, I don't understand virtual GBO. Is there going to be golf coverage? So one of the things that we're doing is the virtual GBO has a Disc Golf Valley portion of it that you can play in if you'd like to. That's an app on your phone that you can use. We are also going to do a mashup of GBOs past. So we're going to look at the coverage that we've had from the past several years, put that together just so you can kind of see what's going on from putting those together, and then we'll do some commentary over those, get to hang out together. That'll be super cool. So yeah. We got Tommy Lejeune in the chat. Excellent. Biggest thing I miss is watching live coverage of the tour. Yeah, man. That's we miss it too, big time. Hey, by the way, they can see your screen. Don't know if that matters.
Me?
Oh no, they can't. I put it on just us, just for this reason.
Okay, sweet. Waterworks is first place you're going to play, Gavin. Nice. Can dig that. I love Waterworks. That's such a cool place to play.
It's a lot of fun.
Am I romantic? You got that, dude. You can get to 900 for sure. 100%. Brock, nice. We'd love to have you in Emporia. There were some people who, even after the tournament got canceled, they were like, I'm still going to travel to Emporia. That's not nearly as many people now, as obviously we wouldn't recommend people traveling. But once everything clears up and we're kind of given the go-ahead to get back on the course a little bit more, I'm excited to see some people come out here. That'll be fun.
Am I backwards right now?
Jerome, I'm looking
It's
for
Anthony.
you. Nope,
Is my shirt backwards?
No, you're good.
Okay. Is it now?
It's my shirt.
Right now, everything is correct on my screen.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Because on my screen, everything was backwards.
Okay, hold on. Is my shirt backwards on your screen?
No.
Okay, then yes, your shirt is backwards. Because it's correct. I see your shirt correctly. I see my shirt backwards.
Okay.
Wait,
I see his shirt.
I see it. I see his shirt is
Fine.
correct. Like reading.
That's what I'm saying. I see Anthony's as correct and ours backwards, but it's because our camera.
It's because we're looking at
Right, not that
ours.
camera.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
All right, hang tight. I've got to bring in the.
I like this suggestion. Jerome says, how about a blooper Disc Golf Answer Man reel since Danny has time?
I have so much time.
Well, he does have time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Guys, we are in quarantine. We're working from home, but that's the work. We're working. We're not just sitting around.
It could be argued that we're doing more during this time Just because, like, at least for me, I don't have as many people popping into the office. I don't have as many little conversations here and there. Instead, it's like, okay, I sit down at my desk and I knock stuff out. And then I eat lunch and talk to my wife for a little bit and then knock more stuff out. It's very easy to argue that I've been more productive working at home.
And honestly, anytime I try to do a project or something, it ends up with more driving around because I have to drive to somewhere else to film or drive to the warehouse to pick up something or stuff like that. So, I mean, it's nice not having to go to the warehouse every day. I can just work in my pajamas until lunch and then take a shower.
Pajama jam.
But
And then you have to answer my dumb questions about YouTube.
Dude,
that's 100% part of the job.
In the chat, XAB, the one and only, says, I'm really looking forward to playing Disc Golf Terminal in Skellefteå. Yeah, me too. What a sick place to play, dude. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I love it. Christian says, Danny loved the tic-tac-toe game. Sorry, Anthony. He didn't care that you were in it.
I didn't win or
like,
anything.
yeah,
That's fine. No, totally cool.
It's not a big deal. He said, any other vids coming out? We do have some more videos coming out always. There's one that we are not going to talk about just yet, but
It's going to be interesting.
you guys are shooting tonight?
Yep, they're going to come get.
Yes. Yep,
They're going to
after
come
this.
get one of the cameras and the thing.
Hey
After
guys,
this.
I just have one thing to say to you. Good luck.
They'll be fine.
Saw a teaser, I think, in Tina's or Eric's thing, and I knew exactly what it was
Yeah.
because I want to do it too.
Yeah, consider, like, just act as if I was Liam Neeson there for a second, and then you'll understand the amount of luck that you'll need to.
All right, let's
you
go
make
ahead.
it?
Do what?
Oh, yeah.
Did you make it?
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's about all we can say.
Oh,
about it.
yeah, we don't want to give it away.
Okay.
All right. We ready? All right, here we go. Recording. Burping. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes, where we debate things from animals to songs to the occasional disc golf topic.
Topics that are hot in flavor.
Hot in flavor and in temperature.
Yes.
So we have our special guest, Chris Clemons, online with us. How are you doing today, Chris?
Doing great, man.
Excellent. We just finished recording our Disc Golf Answer Man, so if you have not listened to that, go back an episode and listen to Disc Golf Answer Man 313 for some words of wisdom from Chris Clemons. But Chris Clemons, as our guest, you have the Disc Golf Hot Take, so the floor is yours.
All right. So my hot take is that in the next 3 years, a European male or female will win the world championships. That is my hot take.
Any particular one?
From the women's side, I think Evelina will.
That's the one I was thinking, yeah.
And from the men's side, that's tough because there's so many good up and coming European men.
Does Simon count?
He does.
Oh.
I think he
Yeah.
counts. Yeah.
Yeah, of course he does. But I feel like it's gonna be somebody like Vino or
Albert?
or Seppo, yeah, or Albert, or who's that? Oscary?
Yeah.
It's like the 17-year-old dude.
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody
Oh, okay,
like that.
Or on the female side, Hannah Bloomrose has been killing it lately too.
Yeah, I mean, Evelina
right
and
up there,
Hannah
too.
are both like right there. Yeah, and Kristen. Like, I think it's going to happen in the female side before the men's side, but I think it'll happen in the men's side soon.
How much? And I don't know if this will sound right, but how much would that shake things up? I'm not trying to be all like, "Oh, America," but how much would that shake?
It sounds like that's what you're doing.
How much would that shake things up if a European player won? Would it shake it up a lot, or would it be just kind of like this has been a long time coming type thing?
I think that if and when a European player does win, you're going to start hearing people say we should have a Worlds in Europe, because it's always been in the U.S. And I don't know when the last time, I think, was it Elaine King? She's Canadian, right?
I don't know.
The last time a player has not been from the U.S.?
I don't know.
One?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna disagree with your hot take. I don't think it's gonna happen, and that's because
3 years.
Statistically, there's so many more people playing in the United States. You just have a bigger sample size, so the amount of people there, we might have more players that are as good as the European players that could come overseas. Shut up, Bobby. As the players who could come overseas, but there's just so many people playing that those players aren't as stand out over here. So I think, I mean, it could potentially happen, but I don't think it's going to happen just because there's such a bigger player base over here in the US compared to overseas.
Did Evelina, was she on lead card at Worlds last year? On the final round, Evelina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like she almost,
Wasn't she in like second?
Where she finished.
Or no.
All right.
Where did she finish?
I think she got third. No. I think she jumped up in a second because Katrina fell off during the last round. She didn't play very well during the last round. Or I don't
Evelina,
remember.
Evelina
she got
came in second.
Yep. There you go.
Paige got her by 5.
Okay.
Yeah, just because Paige shot that fire last round. But Evelina was right there.
Yeah, Evelina was second and Henna was 4th. So that was 50% of the top.
It's gonna happen, bro.
Okay.
FPO.
Here, I'll extend your hot take a little bit further.
Okay.
I will say that a Worlds will be won by a European female 3 times before it'll be won by one European male.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Because
I could probably agree with that.
Yeah, because honest to goodness.
So what you're saying is there's not as many good U.S. women. There's not as many good U.S. women's players.
No, it's not even that.
No?
It really does come down to the sample size of players that play our game, right? So think on the women's field, there are probably 15 female players in the United States who you would say they could, one of those 15 or 4 of those 15 could make a lead card with some consistency, right? And we don't have to name who they are, but we've got a decent idea. Then among those 15, there are probably 6 of those that have a very high probability of making a lead card at Worlds. Okay, now take the 2 best European female players, Evelina and Henna, and you have to make that 6-8 now because they're that good. Like they're up on par with our best female players. Now, if you do that for male players, the pool is just a lot bigger with a lot more talent that could make that lead card, that featured card, and there aren't enough European players just statistically against that number of U.S. players to say, okay, it's probable now that they will put themselves on the lead card, and it's more probable that they'll win. Just because you're talking about 2 out of 8 for the women's side, it would be like 3 or 4 out of probably 40 for the men's side. It's just statistically, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Just to piggyback off what you were saying, Robert, going off of flawed as they may be, the 2019 world rankings at the end of last year, 3 of the top 6 FPO were from Europe.
Okay.
Evelina, Kristen, and Henna were all top 6.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, and Kristen won a major. So, I mean, you have to, at least right now, you have to include those 3 women in any conversation about world championships. But I mean, let's look at the same thing on the men's side. How at the end of year rankings last year, how many Europeans in the top 20?
So if we're counting Simon, there was 2.
Yep.
Simon, and then Albert was 19th. Simon was 6th.
Right. So in the top 20, you're saying there's 2. So 10% of the top 20 men's players European. Half of the top 6 female European players.
Right. I can see that for sure.
Have to do with the taking the game more seriously over in Europe, because I feel like in Europe, if you're doing something, you're not as likely to be doing it just casually out while walking in the woods or whatever. Like, it's good exercise, but I feel like it's a lot more competitive over there. Like, this is what I do. I'm here to improve. This is what I'm trying to accomplish with it. I want to be the best. I want to improve, or something like that.
And
like
European players, I know specifically in Estonia, they get help from the government. They get paid to play disc golf. And so it gives them the ability. You know, if they had worlds in Europe, there would be a lot more men from Europe playing worlds. You know, the fact of the matter is that not as many can come travel. But when there's only like 3 women that come and travel and then they finish top 6, I think that says a lot. And yeah, I don't know, because they're young. Henna and Evelina are both like 20.
Yeah, I mean, Kristen's not much older than them. I mean, she's mid-20s.
Right.
So yeah, they've got a lot of time in front of them to continue to improve and to challenge at the top level. And just because the women's field is so much smaller, their group makes up a greater portion of that field.
Right.
I'll go with 3 FPO world titles before 1 European world title, before 1 MPO European world title.
Wow.
I'll do it. I'll stake my reputation on it.
It's on video now. It's
fragile as it may be.
It is.
It's documented.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I would agree with Robert there. I think, yeah, especially the women are just, like you said, they're just so strong. Mm-hmm. You know, compared to the U.S. women. And there's just like, for every 1,000 rated or 1020 rated U.S. MPO player, there's like 1 European player.
Yep.
You know, and so at least there are a lot more 1,000 rated European players that have never came to the U.S. to play.
Right.
But I think we're going to start seeing more and more of it.
Someone in chat brought up like the financial barrier of traveling over here just to play in the Worlds. That's gonna eliminate a lot of people, and just statistically, that means it makes it less likely.
And I know that a lot of the people who do travel, usually they only get like 2 or 3 months visas to come here, and so they have to select when they're coming. So they'll come for like a month, and then they'll go back, and then they'll come for Worlds, and then they'll go back, and then they'll come for USDGC. And so they don't get as much practice on these courses and stuff like that. So, but I mean, I don't know, how does the European Open look like? Are there a lot more Europeans finishing at the top? Like, for men?
I would say that's always been one thing that stood out to me is there's usually a group of elite MPO players that go out to the European events. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, those are the people that end up on top. They'll have some local talent mixed in here and there. But it's rare that you see somebody just out of the blue, European player just win that thing. So I just think it's a lot more difficult on the MPO side than the FPO side, because there are so many, like there are those 3 FPO players right now who are threatening any event they go to, especially if they play in the woods. Kristen is an assassin in the woods, like just little hyzer flips all day, fantastic putter. I mean,
she has a forehand too.
Yes, you got to watch out for her in the woods for sure.
So the European Open men last year, Albert Tam got 3rd.
Nice.
Jesse Niemanen got 5th, which is like
that.
He's 10-22.
Yes, he can play, dude. He's a baller.
And then Mikhail Rassinen got 9th, and Antti Koda, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, got 9th. So like, if those are European dudes who are 1,000 rated and they're good, and if they had the chance to come over here, I think that they could do something.
Right. But so I think the question that we have to ask though is like, yes, those players are good. Like, yes, he is an incredible player. And we haven't even seen him come close to the peak of his potential yet. But ask yourself this question and be honest with yourself. Are they since Worlds is in the US right now, are those players going to come to the US and beat Paul Macbeth? Are they going to come and beat Eagle McMahon right now? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't even know if we're playing Worlds this year.
Right. Yeah, sure. Let's say next year, whenever it is. But are they coming over to do that? I don't think so. Are Kristen and Evelina and Henna going to come over and challenge the top U.S. females? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You will see at least one of them on the lead card, if not multiple. So just probability-wise, I say FPO European players, they've got a shot.
So this is kind of a long... Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Which female? Who's your pick, Robert?
I think it depends. It really depends on the course. Because I think right now, if I were to say, I think Evelina
let's say they play Worlds this year.
In Utah?
That's a more wooded course. Did you play Utah?
And wooded.
Right. There's one open, there's one wooded. Right?
Oh, okay.
Golf course, and then the fort.
Okay, so if we play this year, I say Evelina has the best shot. I think she's the best player right this second.
Right.
However, I think Kristen, like you said, Kristen's paid to play disc golf and paid to train others to play disc golf. Like that's what she and Silver do for their job, is train people to play disc golf. So I think she's on the up and up, as is Henna. If they get in the woods and it's a really like a Charlotte type Worlds, then I give the nod to Kristen. But
I want to see it now.
Yeah, same.
Even you still stand by that, even though Henna has Evelina right now by 7 rating points, so basically a stroke.
Yeah,
you still think you'd put
I'm sticking with Evelina,
Kristen, then Henna.
That's
the order they're going to win them, and you're guaranteeing that.
It really, yeah, that's right. I think it really depends.
Your house up for this?
I think yes.
Is this what's happening?
Yes,
this is what's happening right now.
I'll just stick the deed right outside, and if one of them loses, whoever wants to come grab it can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, just first come, first served.
Yeah, I think if it's an open course, I think Evelina and Henna have the best shot between the two of them. Right now, I take Evelina. Yeah. If they play a wooded course, I take Kristen over those other two. But it's a gut feeling.
Did you play Utah this year, Chris? Or last year?
Nope. But I showed up with Castro,
okay.
And we saw the fort. We saw the new course and stuff like that. Okay. But I played it 2 years ago.
So this may tack on too much extra time to this hot take, but I thought a sub hot take or a branch off this is something that Danny mentioned earlier on. He said it's a game of numbers in that there's a lot more American players than there are overseas players.
Sure.
Should Worlds even be played overseas, since it's not a representation of the demographics of the players?
Sure. I mean, that's a super fair question. I think that's the reason.
That's a controversial question.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think the reason that it's played over here is because the PDGA is here. The majority of the player base is here. Right. The tournament player base.
I mean, are they getting any bids from overseas anyway?
I don't know the answer to that.
A lot of people don't realize.
That'd be an interesting question.
maybe not full on bids, but there's been
I'm sure there's been interest.
There's been interest, right? But I don't know. I don't know if anybody's actually filled out the form and bid. I don't know.
Yeah, what people don't realize is it's not like the PDGA just walks into a town and sets up Worlds and runs it.
Right.
It's mostly done by the local club. I mean, the PDGA is definitely there curating things and stuff like that, but it's not like the PDGA doesn't just go do everything. It's more like a collaboration, but it starts with the local club. Like when we ran it in Emporia, we ran Worlds, and PDGA definitely collaborated and stuff like that, but it wasn't just the PDGA running Worlds.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. To answer your question, Robbie, should it be? Yeah, of course it should be at some point. I don't know that time is
not in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
but even that's the question. Should it? Well, why should it?
The thing is,
nice,
the thing is, no. Yeah, because it's a world championship, and to have it tested in the same country all the time is a little bit lopsided / unfair.
We have the United States Disc Golf Championship already.
Right.
Yeah.
But to your point, Anthony, like the use of the word should in that situation is yes, it should, but that's a utopian way to look at it. Like if everything was on a level playing field, it would be awesome if we could play Worlds in Europe. Or elsewhere. I mean, in Asia, maybe, dude, Jackie Chen probably wins.
Canada?
Then. I'm telling you, that guy, he's unbelievable. If we could see him play more often, we would be impressed. But anyway,
and
that's
15,
utopia.
20 years.
Yeah.
When players are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to play, and everybody can afford to travel. Yeah, eventually we'll be in Europe too.
Yep, I agree.
But at this point, it's just hard to, because then you would only get, maybe 30 American players going and playing.
Yeah.
Or you'd see people playing other events and touring less and spending that money traveling for Worlds. instead of going on the whole West Coast swing to Beaver State and Masters Cup and whatever, people just
which is what
instead of
the European players do. Some of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I dig it. I like this hot take.
Apparently, Yuha has bid for Worlds. So,
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'm super dumb then, but
Yeah, so dumb. Everyone knows that. No, I didn't know that.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for this Disc Golf Hot Takes. Thank you, Chris, for getting us to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being on the show, Chris.
Appreciate it.
We miss seeing you. I miss seeing you out on the course, taking pictures and videos. We miss having you here for GBO during GBO week. But make sure you stay safe, Chris, and be ready, because I'm sure once things start opening up, it's going to be crazy. Everybody's going to have so bent up, ready to go and get out there and play, that it's going to be crazy awesome. So, but we wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for
guys.
having me.
We'll see you on the next Disc Golf Hot Take. All right.
You're a disc golf hot take.
Anything?
Oh my God.
Anything big time going
Freaking
on
God.
in the chat? Chaser says Kansas City Chiefs are world champions.
World champions.
Didn't
Hey,
they get
you guys
rid of
wanna
their
see,
punter today?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm just
You
saying.
guys want to see what I
Colquitt.
got in the mail today?
What'd
Yes.
you get in the mail?
Don't show me.
Remember, we're
anything.
live.
Oh.
Oh, you ordered a moonshine.
Dang.
Ooh.
It looked good.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
that's
they-
pretty
He's-
I'm upset. I asked for everyone's signature. I don't see Spout on
No,
here anywhere.
no. Spout.
Oh, no.
I need
That's
a
malarkey.
Send it back.
I need a paw print ASAP. Also, good use of malarkey. Well played.
That's baloney, sir.
Is that Malachi's brother?
That's dude. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh my goodness.
Just thinking, whenever they suggested putting together Disc Golf Answer Man bloopers, just thinking about Eric's gaff that one time made me laugh. Like,
Yeah, that would be good.
dude, you just got to extend.
It's a good thing we've
past
proceeded
your-
past that now.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, that was fantastic. Chat, you guys have any other questions for Chris while we have him here? We've got just a few minutes before we've got to get back to other activities and other work things.
Ask me something.
Diggin' DG says, can we get a tip on where to find those sick burst verdicts? Hand-eye box exclusive. Diggin' DG, unfortunately, those were picked straight from the box before they were stamped or anything like that. And this was quite a while ago now, a couple of years. So unlikely to see ones exactly like that. I have one. I know Chris has one, and I bet Eric has maybe a couple more, but that's about it. Yeah, they good.
They good.
Have we talked about what the next release of the Team Series discs is going to be?
We haven't talked about it a whole lot, but the Latitude ones are coming out
This
Soon,
week,
right?
this week. Yeah,
This week?
Thursday, yeah, and
30th.
then next week, Chris's verdict is coming out, right?
2 weeks. It's
2 weeks. Oh,
it's the 14th or whatever.
Chris, is this
the-
news to
News
you?
to me.
whatever that Thursday
They're in-
is?
Oh, by the way,
they're currently in the warehouse.
Yes.
Yeah, Denny,
let me tell
Danny
you-
sent me a disc pic.
Wait, what?
Nice.
Wait,
Make sure you enunciate.
wait, what?
I did.
They feel fantastic.
Nice.
They have a similar level to the Moonshine verdicts. So
Ooh.
these feel like they're going to be quite stable. They're also blue. So
Are all of them blue? Do you know?
there was at least two colors. I didn't look like on other shelves, but on that one shelf there were like the blue and then like the purpley.
Aren't they?
Is this whole? I'm looking at the
It's
picture.
Lucid X Glimmer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What picture?
The
I
one
sent it
that
to Chris.
Don't
Oh.
worry about it, Bobby.
Oh, he actually
This
had a
pic.
picture of it.
Yeah,
personal.
I sent Chris a picture of it.
So those ones in the background, are those the colors? Are the pink and the
Though
yellow?
those
mine, or
are,
no?
I believe, those are
What's wrong?
either recoils or a different disc.
Theron Hobbs asking about the disc pick. He said, "Was it to scale?" It's funny.
Funny stuff. Funny
Listen,
stuff.
listen here. It's
You
funny.
funny. You funny.
Okay.
Camera's
Hey,
not
whoa,
gonna
whoa, whoa,
adjust,
whoa.
but that's the disc. It's
So
a disc.
Super bright.
Yep. Okay. Maybe.
That looks good.
Maybe.
Mine's not
Oh
as
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
yours is better.
Like
That looks a lot
they're the turquoise kind of blue.
I
Yeah.
think they were like,
I think those like in the back.
yes, Cyrus, we out here.
Chris,
Yes.
Thomas Kerr in the chat says, how do Dang it.
How do your player pros pro?
I just got bobbied. I hate
Dang it.
See?
You guys have been in the house together for
rubbing
too
off
long.
on you, bro.
it's contagious. He really shrewded it. That's just something that people say around the office when people mess something up in an irreversible way. Okay. Thomas Kerr in the chat says, "How do pros throw putters so fast/far? I'm a player that can get a destroyer out to 400 feet, but can't throw a putter hard without it completely fluttering and turning over. Help." Well, he said help.
Help.
That's,
me.
I mean, I'm sure Danny knows the answer to this as well, but I mean, that's a fairly common thing and not a whole lot of people, even pros, throw putters like super duper far just because they are kind of deep. And when you're throwing hard, they can get caught on your fingers and stuff like that. But I think it's just like a practice thing and just kind of figuring out what grip works for you. And if they are coming out and they're wobbling and they're flipping over, then your release probably isn't as clean as it should be.
Yes.
And you should probably throw putters more and mids more, throw fuse, stuff like that, and try to work on releasing it on a hyzer and having it hyzer the entire flight. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
I have a TED talk prepared.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Is that okay?
This is where we all sign off and Dan just talks.
I'll make it short. Okay. First thing is I changed my grip. I use like a power grip for drivers, but I use a control grip for putters because that means I don't have to throw as hard. It doesn't release as hard. Yeah, just like that. Do you use that for everything or just mids and putters?
Everything. I don't power grip at all.
It's a lot easier to get a clean release. And the other thing is the driver has a defined point where the air splits to go over top and underneath. And what makes an overstable disc is air that goes more is a bigger proportion of the air going underneath because that lifts the nose and that helps it resist turning. Understable disc is with the air going over top that pushes it down and makes it turn. Okay, this is the last thing. A putter doesn't have a defined line. So if you throw it nose down like this, it's going to cause it to turn.
Right.
But if you tilt it back, it will cause it to stay a little bit more stable. So putters, you actually have to throw a little bit of nose up if you're throwing super mega hard. Otherwise, they will just flip over. So that's what the grip does for me is it tilts it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That's like
advanced.
So for me, I've always had a problem getting the nose of the disc down as well as I need to. Couple that with a couple of other things. That's why I don't throw super duper far. But that is why I throw putters pretty far. Is because I can get the nose up and then not have a ton of flutter on it. So I mean, it's not just if you can throw distance drivers far, then you can throw putters far. And I don't think the flip side is always true either. Like that, that's the case for me. But then for somebody like Simon, he can just throw everything really far. But his form is, I mean, nearly perfect. So there you go.
He's honed it over the years.
Yeah.
All right,
somebody who says like
they
they throw their putters almost as far as their mids and their fairways and everything like that. Usually the problem is nose up.
Right.
And because everything is flying slower like that. So your putters are going to fly good, but your drivers aren't. So I don't know. That's the only thing, Dad.
All right, guys. Well, we've got stuff that we need to get done, so we're going to go ahead and end this YouTube feed. Thank you guys so much.
One super chat.
Oh, we got a super chat.
John Shiraki coming in with $2. He says, "For Dr. Danny, really, thank you."
Oh. And that's a blue bag in his profile picture, so I support this message.
Yes, that's good.
Nice. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. YouTube chat. Be safe. Make sure you tune in. Stay subscribed to YouTube, Dynamic Disc. Make sure you go follow Facebook at Dynamic Discs. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff coming out for the rest of the week on GBO. It's going to be good times. We'll see you guys.